Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Good evening, everybody. My name is Lhey Ralston. I am also known as Mommy Lhey on the internet. Welcome to my first live here for Pink and Main. I am a proud designer for Pink and Main Designs, and I am just super excited to be here tonight. And I cannot wait to play with you guys. Now, today, the crafting schedule is we're going to create a card, very simple card. But I also want to share with you how I like to play around with some inks, some stamps to create my own background. Now, I know kind of like creating, we are all so different. And that's what makes crafting so fun because we have each of our own. We have different things that we love. We love embossing. We love using inks. We love, using some watercolors, different mediums, and all that. And I personally am so I don't know if it's just me. Let me know if it's just me. But I'd love to know what is your favorite type of when creating some background for your cards. Now, I am so and so. Sometimes I love using pattern papers, and sometimes I love creating my own. And today, since we are creating, I figured it's nice to do something that we create, not just use some any pattern paper, but basically that's what we're going to do is we're going to create our own pattern paper, kind of using some stamps and some inks to use for our own cards. And then we'll do a little bit of coloring. And today we're going to use, hold on, we're going to be using, we're going to be using my favorite stamp from the new release is the floating by. I really, really love this set. So this is the floating by set. We're gonna stamp it, we're gonna color it, we're going to die cut it. So I didn't prepare anything. I did prepare something here. Maybe we'll just use this. And then the size of the card that we're going to be using is an A2. Okay, and so I also cut 1/4 of an inch for this cardstock, and this is what we're going to use to create our background. And to create our background today, I am going to be using some Distress Oxide also. All right, so I'll set this one aside. Where's our base? Okay, I'd love to say hello to everyone first. Hi, Angie from Florida. Hi, Ramona. Hello, Lorraine. Hi, Yvonne. Hi, Michelle. Hello there, Liam. Am I pronouncing it? Hi, Miss Michelle. Hello, sis. Okay, so I have this, and then I'm going to zoom in maybe later so you guys can see much better. But I have some Spectrum. Caitlin, last week, she used some Copics. I love Copics too. I have a lot of them too. But honestly, I'm going to share with you why I love the Spectrum as well, because of the way I color. And it just works the best for me. Although, of course, Copic, you can't beat that. That's like a industry standard, the Copic markers. Okay, so floating by, look at this set. Let's just look at this real quick, okay, shall we? Because this is just so special. Okay, so if you haven't picked up the new January set, what are you guys waiting for? Look at this, okay. Trying to zoom and pan it. All right, so we have 2 different balloons, a heart and a regular balloon with some strings. And then we have 3 pieces of balloon in here. We have the sentiments, hello friend. And then if you notice here, we have the word scratch off because you can use the scratch sticker in here, in this balloon here. Then we have sentiments, congratulations, thoughts of you lift my spirits. It's time to soar, floating by to say hi, sending smiles across the miles, big hugs, happy birthday, thank you very much. And then we have all these cute critters here. We have a tiger, we have the unicorn, and that's what I want to use today. And then we have a little bunny rabbit and that little tiny mouse, like, no, don't float. And then we have a bunny and has that string wrapped around its belly. So it's just so adorable. I mean, you can use it for birthdays, of course, but for anything. And for Valentine's, is that what we're going to create today? And so this is the die cuts for this one. All right, we'll set them aside. And then I stamped in my image already using the premium dye ink from Pink and Main. This one's super juicy. I love it. So I'll just use this. Okay, now that I have it, but before we color in, I would love to create our background like what I said. And for this background that we're going to create today, the colors that I will be using are Spun Sugar and the Kish Flamingo. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. I think I am. Hello, Angie. I know that's super cute. I love it. Okay, I'll set my coloring aside. I am going to pull up this. So it's like a very thick sheet of acetate, you know, and I love using it when I'm creating background because I don't have to mess up my desk. And then I'm going to use my Pink and Main blending brush. I'm going to use the large one because we're going to use it for this one. Actually, let me grab another paper just to put under this one, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this here. See, I just open it and like that. So now it's like really secure in here. And then I'm going to use the spun sugar first. I'm just going to use my blending brush. Just roll over that. And how I want to do it, I want to start from the outside first and then slowly move my way in, okay? And so I love this brush because it just has this very blurring effect. It's kind of like super soft. So just do that. And I'll just start in all corners first. I hope you guys can hear me just very well. Like this. I can't believe it's February already. Ah, it is absolutely crazy to me. Time is flying by so fast. So I'm just going to move it around. So I'm just starting all from the outside. And the way I do it is in circular motion. When I'm starting from the outside, I kind of give it a little bit of pressure, but not so much. I just let the brush do the job itself. And so I don't have to work so hard because it gets tiring. It's kind of like a workout, you know? So when we're crafting, it's like, hey, this is our workout. If you craft today, guess what? You worked out. If you did a little bit of blending, then you worked out today. So there we go. So the darker shades of this pink, of this spun sugar, it's just this soft, it's kind of like a milkshake, this spun sugar color. So pretty. So you'll see the darker side would be in every sides like that. So I'm going to keep the middle part of the card still with color, but not too dark. Just a little bit. Just like that. Because this is the only part of the card that you're going to see. And then I'm going to pull out the other cardstock that I created. And this is what we're going to really color in. So again, started from the outside and just moving my way to the middle like that. And I love using this larger blending brush because, because it can really cover a larger space at a time. It comes in two sizes. We have a small one, and this one is the larger one. Like that. So I'd love to know, what is your favorite color palette when it comes to Valentine? I know some are not traditional, you know, some they don't like it all pink, although, of course, you know, I love pink. That's why it's Pink and Main. I love it. Thank you, Yvonne. Thank you, Angie. I know, right? They're so pink. It's perfect for the occasion. There we go. And then the darker shade, this is what I love to do when I'm working on a background like this, kind of like creating my own pattern paper, is that I choose two colors, one lighter shade, and then I choose a darker. But it's kind of like, it's not really tone on tone to tone, tone on tone. How do you say that? You know, it's not the same, but slightly darker. So, and the Kish Flamingo will be perfect for this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a pattern paper using one of the sentiments in the Floating By set. So I think I almost have it. Here we go. It's just this soft, I don't like it too harsh. I don't like it. I'm not even going to spray water in it. I just want it just like this. Very soft, pretty, like that. I think, okay. All right, so that's the spun sugar. Look how pretty that is. And then now we're going to use the Kish Flamingo. And I'm going to choose a sentiment that I want to use for this one. So I was thinking I want to use the word, or the words, I should say, the hello friend. Okay, so I'm going to use the hello friend in this one. This is such an adorable set. And then I'm going to use the smallest. Is this the smallest one? I think this is the smallest I have of the acrylic block. And I'm going to still use this clear cover here to protect my desk. I also use a silicone mat. I mean, you can buy that from Amazon. Super cheap. It's just to protect your desk. All right, so now I want it to go slanted. So we're going to go over. So some words will be hanging. So like this, just part of the hello friend. And this part, I want to zoom in so you can really see. Okay, hold on a second. There. Okay. And then just beside it. And when I'm doing this, I try not to overthink. So I just kind of stamp and try not to stress over it. If it's not perfect, it's okay. So we're like overhanging the sides. Just like that. Just like that. And the reason why I wanted to have a base color of the light pink is that to not make it look so very busy. Because if I did this against a plain white cardstock, it might get a little too busy. And so with this one, the words, the sentiment, hello friend, it pops without being too overwhelming as a background. And also with the two pinks being so close together in color, really does help to tame down, you know, the busyness of a lot of words in here. And it's kind of like so therapeutic also, you know, kind of like doing it over and over. I feel like I'm working in a library stamping. Like that. There we go. And we're done. All right. I'm just going to grab some baby wipes. I still use a baby wipe. I don't know where my stamp cleaner is. I do have one. But, you know, the baby wipes work too. All right. So my background is great. I'm done. I'm finished with my Distress. Oops, I am so sorry. My Distress Oxide. All right. Next is coloring. We're going to start coloring. Here we go. Set this one aside. But let's look at it. There we go. We have this very soft base colors. Just like that. Super pretty. And I'm going to tape that later. We'll put it together. Now we're going to start coloring. So we have the balloons and then we have our little tiny unicorn. Like what I said, if you notice in here, my colors are very soft, pastel. And this is the brush tri blend of the Spectrum Noir, like that. So the colors I have in here, I might not use it all. Definitely the pale pink, I'm going to use that. I don't know if I'm going to use the gold brown. I'm going to have to grab some yellow real quick. Hold on. So I don't have a yellow set for the spectrum. So I just grabbed the Y04 and then Y15 of Copic markers, okay? Leah said that she's all for low stress crafting. Me too. Me too. Okay, and then I'm going to use the green turquoise blend, the true blue blend, bright pink blend. Maybe not. Maybe that's it. And then the ice gray. All right. And then I need a pink because the pale pink is not pink enough for me. So I have this one. This is also from the Spectrum, but it doesn't come with a brush. So this one is just a bullet tip. And it's okay. I mean, really, if you're not doing a hair, I don't really mind using the bullet tip also. And then I might use the coral blend for the blush. I usually use a R20 for that from Copic markers. Okay, let's start with our unicorn first. I think this is zoom enough, but I think I can zoom it just a little bit more. There we go. All right, now with alcohol markers, the way they work is that I am guilty of this. I oversaturate my cardstock sometimes. I feel like I'm such in a hurry that I oversaturate it, and so it bleeds on the outside. So the key to that is to leave a space. You know how we have borders when we die cut something, we have borders on the outside, right? The white borders. So the key to coloring, if you know you're going to do a whole lot of blending, leave just a tiny gap around this one, especially if you're going to soak it in, because the way it works, the alcohol ink seeps in through the cardstock and then it absorbs it so much and it just kind of like bleeds through. So if you give it some time to just dry a little bit before you layer and layer so that you don't have any of those bleed on the sides. So I just leave a tiny gap on the sides, knowing that I'm going to soak this with a whole lot of alcohol inks. But in the middle part, it's okay, just this part. So this one is the lightest one of the gray. This is the ice cold gray blend. But instead of going dark, I'm going to go back and layer it with the green turquoise blend. Actually, no, I'm not going to use the turquoise. I'm sorry. I'm going to use the true blue blend. Okay, so the lightest one as well. I'm going to layer it on top of the gray. Just like this. So I'm just going on top of that gray. And this is what I mean about I really soak my cardstock. And I'm not using a Nina cardstock today. This is just a regular cardstock I got from Michael's. Okay, so now I'm going over the same layer that I added, but I'm going to go to the middle color. And this is why I love the Spectrum, because it takes out the thinking from me. The colors now are if you want to blend, these are the colors that you're going to need. So if I'm using a Copic markers, you have to look at it. You have to look at your swatches, because sometimes the colors outside the barrel of our markers are not always the same. The inks are not always, they don't dry the same, especially if you use many different types of cardstock. So it is really, I think it's going to save you time if you spend some time swatching your markers. And if you have like a favorite cardstock, you know that this is what you're going to use always, all the time, then make swatches, because it's going to make it much, much easier. But with the Spectrum, like what I said, it takes out the thinking part, the too much thinking, because the colors are already coordinated for me for my perfect blending. And so just going over, adding this medium color. And I think I'm going to stop with the medium. I don't think I'm going to use the dark one again, the darkest. So stop right there. Okay, and then I'll use the lightest and then come back in there. And now just start blending it in. And then sometimes I do it like this. If I feel like it's not blending well enough, I go for the tip to tip. So the tip on tip action, I just kind of go with my lightest color and then touch the tip of that darker shade and just come back in again for that much better blending. And I'll just bring everything down. Just like that. And then I'll go for the tip to tip again. Bring this up. I'm leaving the belly part going up again. Just like that. Now I'm going to give it some time to breathe because I know the cardstock is really soaking with some inks before I do a bit more blending in there. All right. Okay. So this is the true blue. Now for the belly, I think I'm going to use my coral and nope. Yep, the coral blend. I'm going to use the lightest. Also use this one for the snout. I'm just going to use that lightest. And then I will use the pale pink. This is the pale pink blend. There we go. Just like that. I try not to go over the top with blending like little tiny accents like that. I go for the body. I go for where the biggest part, and I really try to do a bit more blending in there. So for example, the belly has a much bigger or larger size. So I'm going to go for the medium and the dark. I'll go for the medium first. Now, everyone's different when it comes to coloring. Some I've seen they like to go with the darkest first, and then they go back in with the medium, and then they go with the lightest. So we're just all different. And I think it's really important to understand that there really is no wrong or no right. If it's working for you, I say go for it. I mean, really, we're just sometimes too hard on ourselves that we're like, we have to do what everybody else is doing. And, you know, I am guilty of that as well. But I think the whole purpose of why we're doing this is that we have fun with it, you know? So I say just keep going, keep having fun. All right. I'm just going to go back in the corner. So even with the bullet tip, you can still do that tip to tip action right there. So I'm just getting a little bit of the dark and just a bit of the blending. I'm not going to make this complicated. There we go. All good. All right. And then for the hair, I think this is where I want a bit of something happening in here. So I'm going to go with my light. This is the bright pink blend. And then the green turquoise blend. That's it. And then going in with the darkest of the bright pink, okay? So I'm going to go with the lightest. I'm going to start from the inner, so the inside of the hair. I'm just going to add, ooh, this is like a neon pink. That is not what I was expecting. But we're going to go for it. I want to like create an ombre here and here. I'm going to try this because this is like, okay, this is brighter. I like this bright pink. I don't like the bright pink blend. It's too much of a neon. It's throwing me off. So I'll just use the purple one in this pink violet blend to create this one. So basically a little bit of color theory. The blue in that turquoise will give you a bit of that purplish also when you start blending them. So I think I'm going to go for the middle shade because the lightest is too light. It's like a rock and roll unicorn. I love it. Okay. Ay! Wrong color. I'm gonna go with the pink. This is like a bright neon pink too. Okay. And then we're gonna add this one. And then add our purple one. So just the same thing. Just adding my pink, my turquoise, and then that purple. Oh my goodness. And I'm going to go back in with that coral color for that inside of my ear. Then I'll use the blue for this one. All right. Now for our unicorn horn, I want to use the yellow. This is why I wanted the yellows for this one. And also I love this one because it doesn't roll around. See, that has that flat. So when it's like this, it doesn't roll around my desk, and I love it. Okay, I'll start with the lightest and just color the whole area and go back in with the dark one, which is the Y17. Just add that. And I'm leaving the middle part as almost, it's a natural highlight. You can add also some white jelly pens in there if you'd like. And then going back in with the coral, I want to add some blush. And then now that I think my cardstock had a little bit of rest, I want to go back in and just blend a little bit over here. So the lightest to the medium again. See how where the cheeks are kind of like touching the arms. So I want to add a little bit of darkness in there. Over here too. Just kind of like that. And I'm just going back in everything. Just like that. I think I'm good. I like it. We're good with that one. Okay, now the balloons. I want the balloons to have this pink color, the turquoise, and then the purple, the pink violet blend. Okay. I'll start with the bright violet, or the pink violet, I should say. And I'll start here. Again, just leaving a little bit of a gap so that in case I soak it, it will give it some time to blend. All right. Then I'll do the pale pink. This one. What is your favorite medium to use when you're coloring your stamps? Do you like to use watercolors, colored pencils, or do you like using alcohol inks as well? Okay, going in with a turquoise. And I know sometimes it's hard to not color in some of those for the negative space, the white part. And if you accidentally color it, it's okay because you can just come back in later and just add some white gel pens too. All right, now I'm going to go start my blend over here. Now, the way blending works is that it just depends on where your light source is. So for example, I'd like to think that my light source would be on top. The sun would be on my top right. Just think of it this way. If the sun is right here, you're casting a shadow on the left. the bottom left of your image. If your sun, your light source is on your top left, then it's going to cast a shadow over here on your bottom right. So you just depend on which one you want it. Okay. So I'm going to say that my shadow would be on my top right. So I'm going to cast the shadows over here on the bottom left of my image. So I'm going to start with a medium and I'll start adding in here. And if you use a Copic marker, it's just almost the same. You really have to just find a light, a medium value, and then a darkest value also. Okay. Olo markers. I have to check that out. All right. And then now go back in with my medium. Like that. I feel like the Spectrum is fun and cheaper than the Copics, but I feel like Copics are really the easiest to blend. They are just hands down the easiest to blend. I know that there's a lot of alternatives now of many different brands, so you don't really have to use the Copic, and also alcohol markers. Just for a little bit of fun fact is that they are not light fast. So the cards that we're making, the colors will fade eventually, and so that's the only thing about the alcohol markers is they are not light fast. So that means the colors will fade. Now the India inks are light fast. So if you want your colors to, last for a very long time, then go for the India inks. All right, then I'll go back in now with my medium and the dark. Watercolor or the tri-blends. Yeah, Oh, Lorraine, she uses Spectrum also. Okay, sorry, where am I? Where was I? Medium. Now, look at this. It's already bleeding through my page. The purple is blending with that coral. You know what? It's okay. This is what happens when you soak through a lot of alcohol inks. Like that. So Leah said she loves coloring with watercolor pens. Yes, the tip to tip. Yes, I love that too. Do you have a specific brand that you love most? Maybe you can share with us. I know I have a bunch of the is it the real brush? I know I have some of those. I just have to find them. So here I'm just adding a bit of more of a darker shade where some of the balloon are touching. So I'm switching between the middle color and then the darkest color also. I feel like the darkest color is not blending as well. Maybe it's my paper too. And that's where it's really important to understand cardstocks as well, because sometimes I want to blend, I want to blame the markers, but sometimes it's in the paper. So I'm not using a marker pad right now. I'm usually using a Strathmore also, a Strathmore marker pad. It's really not expensive, but where's the medium? Okay, this is the medium part. I feel like there's so much water-based dye ink markers now, water-based dye markers like the Tombow, the Faber-Castell came up with new ones also, and it's fun. It's fun playing with watercolors, really. I feel like some colors are blending much better than the others. Like this turquoise one, they really blend well. Zig Real Brush. Yes, Leah, I love that. Lil said that the Arteza Real Brush watercolor markers are my go-to. I got to go check them out. You know what? I think I had some of those. I had a set of those. I think I gave it to my oldest daughter because she loves doing art. And so, you know how mom, we have to share. And so, yep, that's what I did. I shared with her. So I have to go check them out again. Now, I'm not happy with this blending action happening with this coral color. I don't know if it's the paper, if it's the colors, but I'm not super thrilled with that. But you know what? We're just going to move on with our lives and just accept defeat sometimes. So I'm just going to go back with the middle and then just try to really not have too much of a light color. So there's not big contrast from the light and the darkest. I think that's what's happening. The coral is too light and it's throwing off everything else. All right. I'm good with that. That's all right. Okay. Just added that darker shade and we're good. I think I'm good. Okay. So this one is the pink. I have to add dark in here. All right. And then I love using, actually, I don't know what's happening here. I am going to use a touch of gloss. I don't know if you've checked this one out already from Pink and Main, but I love it. So I'm definitely going to add some of this one later. Okay, but we're going to die cut it first. All right. Where's our die cuts? Ta-da! Here it is. And I'm going to go zoom out just a little bit. Okay. Here we go. Yeah, Arteza brand. They're inexpensive, but I don't think they're super inexpensive either. Okay. And I love using washi tape to hold my die cuts. Where's our little unicorn? So is it just me? Sometimes I have to really look at the image. I'm like, where is it that I'm looking for? Sometimes I'm like, okay, this is it, I think. Oops. Is it? Please tell me I'm not the only one. Come on. All right, here we go. I think I found it. Did I find it? I did. Okay, here we go. So I'll grab some washi tape in here. I don't have a Gemini machine. Now, I really want to get one. I actually asked Michelle if she can recommend it, and she said she loves her Gemini. So I might have to get some Gemini too. Okay, I'm using some washi tape. Now, if you've experienced with washi tape, you feel like it ruins your paper, make sure to kind of put it like that on your, skin first to take out some of the tackiness. Because not all washi tapes are created equal, so I understand that. I'll have my scissors in here. So we're gonna do workout manually here. Put it like that. Put in my second plate. Make sure they're okay. All right, work it. And then I just go back again. And then just go back just to make sure everything is cut. Ta-da! Here we go. Ta-da! There. And now we can put this back later off camera. I need some scissors to grab this one. Now, we also have a lot of die cuts that you can get, like flags, squares, tiny squares if you'd like. But this one, we're just going to do manual labor. And just do this. I can never cut that is not crooked. Everything is always crooked. Even though I try my hardest. Okay, 4 tapes. I love using the mono air, so we're going to assemble our cards. Oops. Ta-da! And then I'll use some foam tapes. Also, I don't know where I put my pink and Maine tapes, because I rearranged my craft room and everything is gone. I don't know where I put everything. All right. Sure that it is okay. Like that. I love the colors. And then definitely these colors will pop because of that. And I'm going to use some foam tapes, and then I am going to use some embellishments. Really, I was thinking if I'm going to use the Snow Day, the sparkle dots, or this one, the floral hearts. But if I use the pink, it's going to blend in so much with the pink one, but it's probably not a bad idea. So we have purple in here too. It's so pretty. It has like glitters inside. Look how pretty those are. It's so beautiful. So we'll have our foam tapes over here. I love setting them on a higher where it has dimensions. And then once I assemble everything together, that's when I put in the touch of gloss so that, you know, I can leave it there to dry. And then we'll have our balloon like this. And that one is not going to be on a foam tape. So my unicorn is the only one that's going to sit slightly higher than the rest. So I want to make sure I tuck this in under so it really does look like it's just like that. And then I'll put my sentiment. I can probably put it in. I don't know. I can go by without it. It looks so pretty too. You know, it's up to you if you want to put in. I'm not sure. What do you guys think? I'll just start adding in my glitters. It's so pretty. It's so simple, yet so pretty. It's so effective. You can use it for many things. We can add a lettering in here that says Happy Valentine, and I might just do that to finish it up. I love adding my own lettering. Now, you know that I've designed a few stamp sets for Pink and Maine. We have a brand new one for the Valentine. You can use that as well. But you know what? We're going to do this inside. I'll just add my Valentine. I'm going to keep it simple like this. I really, really like it when I add the touch of gloss later in my balloons and with my unicorn, it's going to pop in. And I'm just going to add in Happy Valentine. Now, if you want this lettering, we have it as a stamp. All you got to do is get an acrylic block and stamp this. Just like that. See, sometimes I mess things up. And then you can just add your message. We're good to go. But that's it, guys. Oh my goodness, that was so much fun. This is my first time doing this live crafting, so I hope that that was okay. I'm gonna go back again on Friday, same time, 7:30, same place. So I hope you'll get to hang out with me again. We're gonna create a bookmark. Perfect for Valentine. You know, my kids, they bring stuff to school all the time for their teachers, you know, when there's like events like that. So this is when like little things like that would come in. I add it with a gift card, then I put in a simple bookmark for the teachers and all that. So we're going to create some bookmarks on Friday, 7:30 Central Standard Time. I hope that you had fun. I had so much fun crafting and playing with you guys. Thank you for joining in. Thank you so much. Until next Friday, stay creative and stay happy, everybody. Bye.